All right, what's going on? How's it going, guys? How's it going? All right, well, I just want to make a quick announcement because, as you guys know, last weekend, Sunday, October 13th, I did a video of the abandoned Yokohama sushi joint over there in East Northport. And, and obviously that whole week, the days following October 13th, that whole week I had a bunch of plans to go out there and do a whole bunch of videos for you guys, And I was going to go to the Bridgehampton Kmart, and unfortunately I couldn't make it. I'm going to get to that in a minute. And there's an abandoned shop right over there by my sister-in-law's house, an abandoned HSBC bank, and an abandoned Wild by Nature supermarket too over there in West Islip that I want to film. So, now, obviously, I was going to do the whole week of exploration. I was going to do the whole week of exploration. And now, firstly, I was going to get the Bridgehampton Kmart out of the way. Okay? Now, unfortunately, I couldn't make it before they closed because I was going to go the last week. So at some point, the last week before they closed, I was going to make it. The whole week, the final week that they were open, at some point, I was hoping to make it out there. Now, here's what happened, okay? Now, I had a couple of emergencies the following day, and, I had an emergency the following day on Monday, October 14th. My grandmother wasn't feeling good. Obviously, you guys know she's 94 years old. Lord willing, she'll be 95 on December 3rd. And she wasn't feeling good on Monday night. And obviously, I was up with her all night. She wasn't feeling good. So, I was up with her all night, just to make sure that everything was okay. We almost hit the car an ambulance, but, thank God we didn't. So, after being up with her all night, I finally went to bed at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning on Tuesday morning. So now comes Tuesday morning, October 15th. Okay? Now, I get to bed at 3:30 in the morning, almost 4 o'clock, and I had trouble sleeping because, obviously, I'm so used to going to sleep a lot earlier now. I'm usually in bed by 1:30, by 12:30 the earliest. But usually about 1:30, I'm in bed, and I was tossing and turning all over the freaking place. And finally, just as I'm about to sleep, my father calls me, not even 3 hours later. He calls me like at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm sleeping and my white noise gets turned off, and then I wake up noticing the silence, and I saw my phone was ringing. I don't have my ringer on, but obviously when my white noise gets cut off my speaker box, that means that somebody's calling me. So I checked, and it was my father. Like at 6 o'clock in the morning, last Tuesday, a week ago from today. So I pick up the phone, okay, and my father tells me that I'm on my way to work, but I had to come back home, and then because my tire pressure was on, but when I started driving, I felt the tire shaking. So I got off the nearest exit, and I tried to make it back home, and then my back left tire on the driver's side, the tire just fell apart. And it literally fell off the rim, and I had to pull over on the Northern State Parkway, and I need you to come and pick me up. So my father had a tire blowout on the Northern State Parkway at 6 o'clock in the morning when he was going to work, and just as he was coming back home, his tire fell apart, and I had to go over there to pick him up. Then we had to call our guy. We have a mobile mechanic that we know, very good man. He's a Hispanic man, he's a Salvadoran, I believe. We called him up, and he came over here, he got the tire, he fixed it, he repaired it and everything, and he took the old one off my dad, so they had to come here because the guy's got a giant freaking truck. The guy has literally got a giant red freaking truck. A giant truck. The whole freaking machine in there to wick the freaking tires and everything. So this guy's got a whole freaking mechanical system in there. And obviously, being as small as the Northern State Parkway is, it doesn't have any, shoulders to pull over on. It just has the grass and all area. So obviously, they had to take my car, go over there, disassemble the tire, take it off, come back, get the new tire, put the new tire in my car, go all the way back, put the new tire on, and then come back again. And then I had to follow my dad all the way back so he could get his car, and then I had to come all the way back myself. It was a nightmare. So I come home, finally, it's 8:30 in the morning, it's about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. So I barely even got any sleep. I only got 3 hours of sleep. I go to sleep for about a half hour, and then I hear my father, saying in Spanish, okay, ahí ya llegaron. And my eyes open up, and I'm like, who the hell is here now? Who the hell is this? So I'll wake up after hearing my father saying, okay, they're here. Okay, hermana, ahí ya llegaron. Vámonos. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to figure this out. And I look through my shades, on my bedroom, only to find out that there's a bunch of cops and ambulance in my driveway. So they called an ambulance for my grandmother because she wasn't feeling good. At 8:30 in the morning, the ambulance and the police show up to my house. And, there's a bunch of paramedics in my house and paramedics running up and back in the house. And I'm like, man. And I was already stressed out. I was already stressing the out. So I couldn't take it no more. I was already stressing the out, man. I just couldn't. I was really stressed, man. So obviously my grandmother gets taken to the hospital and she stays there for 2 days. And obviously she ended up over there because she wasn't taking her water pill. And because she wasn't taking her water pill, she wasn't feeling good. She was wheezing. She was having trouble breathing. They found fluid in her lungs. And my grandmother already has a case of congestive heart failure. So obviously she stayed in the hospital for a couple of days. They gave her the medicine. They gave her what she needed. And they gave her some patches so that they could, so the swelling, could go down or whatever. And obviously, so then 2 days later on Thursday, October 17th, my grandmother comes home. October 17th, my grandmother comes home. She's fine and everything's doing good. And thankfully enough, she's here back at home and she's doing okay. And obviously, it was already Thursday, October 17th. We were already, reaching the end of the week. And I said to myself, I said, yo, I can't do this, man. Listen, I gotta step back. I gotta take the foot off the pedal and I gotta step back for a bit. I gotta chill with the videos for a little bit. I gotta recollect my mind, before anything happens. I don't want to do something that's, obviously going out there and doing videos for you guys, keeps my mind busy. Yeah, obviously, I love it very much. But I don't want to be driving while I'm in an emotional wreck. If I'm in an emotional wreck and I'm driving, that's going to cause problems. And which brings me to my next point. Now, I forgot one key point, and here we go. Now, on Tuesday morning, after all the ruckus that happened, my father getting a freaking blown tire on the, Northern State Parkway, I had to go pick him up. I come home, get only a half hour sleep. Police and paramedic and ambulance are at my house, taking my grandmother away. And after all that ruckus was going on, I took my car and I went out because I got a friend of mine, my next door neighbor who lives a few houses up, my friend Dana. She works at Staples over there in Stony Brook. So just to get my head off my mind, or just to get my mind out of the woodwork of everything that was going on, she's a really good friend of mine and she usually always helps me calm down, and she always puts a smile on my face regardless of whatever happened. And I'm very grateful that, Dana lives walking distance, literally only 5 houses up. So she works at Staples over there in Stony Brook, which, another key point is that eventually I'm going to do a video because that's a conjoined building. Staples is a conjoined building. And what was conjoined next to Staples is an abandoned sports authority. So I'm going to check that out soon too. So be on the lookout. So anyway, I leave my house. Okay. Now I make a right on Terry and I'm just I have no music on because listen, it's 8:30 in the morning. It's 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm stressed. I'm upset. I'm mad. I'm pissed. I'm feeling everything. So I got no music on while I'm driving. And as I'm driving, as I'm driving right down Terry Road, I made a mistake without realizing it. I didn't have no music on. I'm just driving, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And, as I'm driving, I look in my rearview mirror and I notice that a cop has his lights on. He put his lights on. Just as I got to the traffic light, he put his lights on. And I'm like, wait a minute, am I getting pulled over? By the way the lights were flickering, I knew that something was going on. So the light turns green, and then I proceed to turn on Terry, and when I made the left there, right in front of Osteria Umbra, right by Ryan Tire House. As soon as I started driving, I pulled over just to see what would happen. Either he was trying to get me, or he was trying to get out through traffic. So I started driving, and as soon as I moved to the side, he stayed connected with me. I said, oh man, what the f? You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. So I stay quiet, whatever. I'm in my car, I'm sitting there peacefully, you know. I'm already mad and I'm already upset. But obviously, when it comes to cops and when it comes to the law, you gotta be respectful. You gotta respect the law and you gotta respect what happens. You know, you gotta respect the law and you gotta respect what happens. Regardless of how they talk to you, whatever it is that's going on, you gotta maintain your composure. So obviously, I'm already going through enough. So the cop comes, you know, and he's like, "Hi, sir, do you realize why I pulled you over?" I said, "No, I listen, there's a lot going on right now. My grandmother got taken on an ambulance, you know, to Stony Brook Hospital, and I'm just out driving trying to go visit somebody just to keep my mind, you know, to keep my head leveled, you know, to keep myself level-headed." And he's like, "Okay, well, listen, you accidentally ate a stop sign back down Terry Road." I said, "Really? Which one?" "Oh, right there, Terry Road and Gerber Avenue, and I followed you." And I said, "Listen, man, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen. You know, I'm sorry, officer. I didn't mean for that to happen." He was a young guy, you know, and he had somebody else with him. So he was talking to me over here, and his comrade was standing on the, you know, on the other side over here, the passenger window. And I told him, man, I said, "Listen, bro, I said, listen, man, a lot of people bullshit cops, you know, to, you know, telling them stupid things so they don't get a ticket. And I'm not trying to bullshit you. You know, but obviously, let me show you something." So I took my phone, which I had right here in the phone holder. I took my phone, pulled up a couple of photos of what happened. My father sent me his blown tire. I showed him what happened to my father's car, and then I showed him the photos of my grandmother with the ambulance and the paramedics, and she had a, you know, oxygen mask. And obviously, I took a picture with her, the oxygen mask, and I showed him all the photos, including the photo of my father having a blown tire, to show him what kind of catastrophic, destructive morning that I had. So, you know, and then he tells me, "Okay, I get that. All right, give me your license." And I just put my head back and I said, "Man, whatever." So I grabbed my wallet and, you know, I took my wallet out of my middle, out of the middle console. And he could tell that I was in the weeds. He could tell that I was already having a bad day. Because when I opened my middle console to take my wallet out, I freaking dropped my wallet underneath my seat. And I'm freaking struggling to try to grab my wallet and get everything. I'm struggling to try to get my license out. He's noticing it. He's noticing it. You know, and obviously I give him the license and he said, "Okay, stay here." And I put my head back and I'm just like, man, bro, what the man? I mean, what the So then he comes back, not even a minute later. Not even a minute later, homeboy comes back. You know, and he tells me, "Okay, listen, don't worry about it, man. All right, just stay safe out there. I'm sorry about what happened. Here's your license. Just stay safe out there. Just be careful, okay? Just try to stay level-headed. Just relax. You know, if you need to pull over somewhere, there's a Dunkin' Donuts right here on 347. Or if you need to stop somewhere to relax, just take it easy. But just be careful, okay?" And, you know, and I said, "Okay, thank you, officer." So he gave me my license, and then we went on our merry way. So I dodged a bullet there, because if I would have gotten a ticket, I would have been fuming. I would have been fucking pissed. Not at him, but at myself. And that would have just made the whole week more catastrophic than what it already was. So, you know, so obviously while all of that is going on, you know, the whole week was an absolute mess. It was an absolute motherfucking mess. So it was just absolutely horrible, you know, and I had no time to go all the way out there, you know, to Bridgehampton. I know I had it on the back of my head to do a video over there, and I tried. But when everything was going on, you know, just when you think you're on your way up, there's always got to be something. Bam! There's always got to be something that hits you that sends you swindling back down, spiraling out of control, that catastrophically causes destruction upon your life. You know, and obviously with all of that going on, this whole week has been a complete mess. And now, you know, the following week, today is a week later, Tuesday, October 22nd. You know, now I'm just trying to slowly move back into place. You know, it's been a mentally catastrophic and destructive week for me. You know, from a mentalistic standpoint, my health has been so catastrophically and destructively damaged to a point where I just gave up. You know, and I just said, "Listen, I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax. I'm not going nowhere for a while. I'm going to just stay here and I'm just going to try to recollect myself, because mental recollection is what I need right now. I need a serious case of mental recollection." So obviously, you know, I recollected everything. My mind is finally fine and I'm back to who I am. But just know that I haven't forgotten about you guys. You know, there's a lot of videos that I want to go out there and do. But due to the emergency, due to the unfortunate circumstances that happened last week, I had to stay back. And unfortunately, I missed the opportunity to check out the last full-size Walmart, or excuse me, the last full-size Kmart in the United States. It is what it is. You know, it happens. It happens. But when, you know, when things happen with your family, when you have emergencies, you know, especially with my last and only grandmother, you know, who's alive, you know, my grandparents, my dad's parents, you know, Miguel or Benavinda, they died in 1998, 6 months apart. My grandfather died January 31st, 1998. When I was 4 going on 5, he died on January 31st from liver failure after years of drinking. And my grandmother, my dad's mom, had just turned, you know, she was on the verge of turning 59 just when he died. You know, her birthday is on February 19th, which ironically enough was me and my wife's dating anniversary. So my grandmother, you know, who had turned 59 on February 19th of that year, she was never the same after my grandfather passed away. And obviously, you know, she died of a heart attack 6 months later caused by diabetes. And now I only have one grandmother left. And I only say one grandmother because my grandfather, Federico, he died in a car accident when my mother was 18. So obviously, instead of having 2 grandparents left, now all I have is 1. I've had a very troubled past. My family has had a very troubled past. And now, you know, right now we're going through a lot of shit. You know, excuse me for the language, but right now we're going through a lot, man. We're going through a lot. Me and my family are catastrophically out of control. You know, the catastrophic destruction that happened within my household within the past 7 days has been completely, unexplainably and unexplainably catastrophic to a point where I can't even put it into words how bad it's been over here. I'm trying to put it into what, but I can't because I've been struggling badly. You know, it's been so catastrophically destructive in my household, you know, with everybody's emotions and all the animosity going on, that I haven't been able to go out and enjoy my life as much as I have. You know? So obviously, and like I said, I haven't forgot about you guys, but trust me, I'm going to get back out there soon enough. But right now, I'm just, you know, focusing on myself and focusing on my mental health. Because mentalistically, you know, the mechanistic brain function in my head is just not there. You know, mechanistically, I don't have it all up there right now. You know, from a mechanistic standpoint, my mental health is just completely decimated. So, but I haven't forgot about you guys. So trust me, I figured I'd come out here and address you guys properly. You know, so you guys know what's going on. You know, because obviously I had the whole week. I had plans this whole freaking week. This whole freaking week I had freaking plans. This whole freaking week I had freaking plans to go out there, do the Bridgehampton Kmart, and go check out a couple of other abandoned places that I found interesting. And I just, listen, man, there was an unfortunate circumstance that happened last Tuesday, and the whole week from there on out was just completely mentally and catastrophically and destructively destroyed. And my mental health, you know, mechanistically, my head is just not where it's supposed to be right now. But we're going to be back soon. So trust me, everything's going to be okay. I'm fine, you know, but I just got to take a step back for a little bit. You know, I got to chill. I got to take a step back and I got to reevaluate my life. Because there's a lot going on right now. And I got to reevaluate my life. So, all right. So I love you guys. And thank you for understanding and thank you for listening to me. And, you know, hopefully soon enough, we'll be back soon, all right? I'll see you guys in the near future in a couple of days or whatever. Whenever I'm ready to get out there and do it again, we'll see you guys soon until the wind blows us to the next destination. But just so you guys know, everything's okay now. But, you know, I got to focus on my mental health before I start continuing, all right? All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. I love you all very much, and thank you for being so supportive, and thank you for always being there, man. I appreciate you guys. All right? Don't worry about it. We're going to have a lot of fun real soon, all right? All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. Take care.